no.
Ocho Cinco, was he a quarterback?
Your ass better call somebody.
His team hasn't won a national championship since before he was even born.
Diggs gone for the touchdown. Caldwell Pope. How about that one, baby? Let's go. Come on.
Come back, Kelly.
I love college football.
Go Dogs.
Go Tigers.
Roll Tide, roll. Roll RMFT. Roll motherfucking Tide.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the College Football Weekly Matchup. Week number 5. Y'all making me laugh. Week 5. We're back here. They're making me laugh, acting stupid. Back here after a good week of college football. Some good games going on. Josh, we always start off with you. We know you watch the most college football. I mean, we all watch it too, but you got the most TVs. You watch every game. Don't miss a game. How was your week of college football?
Man, it was good. Some real good games. I actually turned that Tennessee and Florida game. I didn't know that Florida had got an onside kick or something and was threatening to win. I didn't even know that. I was kind of ticked off that I didn't get the pick right. And then Auburn in overtime missed their field goal, but got a penalty, went their way, got an offsides against Missouri, so they got to retry their field goal, and they made it. Then Missouri goes in for the score to win, and they fumble the ball without even being touched into the end zone. Auburn recovers. Just that Auburn pixie dust, that weird magic stuff that happens at Auburn. That's why I think LSU better be careful traveling to Auburn this weekend.
Gotcha. Bryson had an interesting week of college football. Close, tight game.
Yeah.
Before we get into that game, how was your week?
Yeah, week went pretty good. Like Josh saying, the Auburn game was crazy. Florida, they lost Tennessee. It's always a close game every year. I think if we had a little bit more time on the clock, I think we might have put out of there with a victory. But, Tennessee's looking good. Hendon Hooker's is a dog. But, yeah.
Preston here in his car once again. At least he's here, boys. He's here with the somewhat good connection. He's kind of freezing up a little bit. He's good now. He's good. Preston, how was your week of college football coming off a big win against Wake Forest?
Yeah, I mean, it was very, very exciting, very heartfelt kind of game. But it was a great week of college football. As we're going to get into later, it wasn't a great week of picks for me for college football, but that one game gave me enough excitement and heart attack for the entire season. So hopefully we're looking for smooth sailing for the rest of the season so far.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're going to go over the picks here real quick before we recap some of the games.
Chris.
Yes.
How was your week?
My week was great. A lot going on. You know me, I watched a lot of NFL football. Don't miss the NFL game. But Saturday I did catch some college games. We watched the Florida game on the computer together. I know we watched that playing Xbox and watching the Florida game. So, I felt bad for you. But
somebody just parked right next to me.
Oh, we'll tell them hello. Anyway, Josh, could you go over the records for us this week and the records overall?
Yeah, we'll start off with Bryson, who went 5-2 this week. I think that's like his second week going 5-2. He has got a good little lead on us here. His overall record is 17-12. Then we'll go to you, Chris. You went 4-3, so you caught back up with me. Your record is 14-15. I went 3-4, which brings my record to 14-15. And then Preston, after talking all that shit last went 1-6. 1-6, which brings him down into last week.
Back to life. Back to life.
13-16.
I told y'all Wake Forest. And let me tell y'all, I told y'all Wake Forest was going to that was a damn lock. Excuse me.
I don't even want to hear it. A lot of those games, like I talked about earlier, a lot of them were like 1 point. I know that doesn't make a difference, but Josh made a good point when we were at just after that game had concluded. If Clemson had made that 2-point conversion, that game right there covers.
We're gonna talk about that in just a second. But Josh, did you have your record for the week? Did you say your record?
Yeah. Mine went 3-4.
Okay, overall, okay. And then Bryson's still in the lead. Me and you are right behind him, correct? Tied for second.
Preston
drop back to the bottom.
Yep.
Anyway, all right, let's recap some games here. We'll start off with the Clemson-Wake Forest game, by high-scoring battle. Clemson won it. One thing I want to ask y'all talked about the 2-point conversion before. We'll talk about more about the game. Would y'all go for 2 there? I mean, I didn't think it would make that much of a difference. I mean, I didn't understand.
What do you mean?
I didn't understand that when I was watching it. If I'm not mistaken, I was watching this game. The 2-point weren't they? How much were they ahead by when they went for 2?
When at the very end of the game in double overtime?
Yeah,
because you have to go for
that's
it.
right. It was in overtime. You have to go for 2 there.
You have to
After,
go for 2.
starting in the second
maybe that's
overtime.
why I didn't understand. Okay.
Yeah, so I was
That's
thinking,
why I didn't understand.
if they would have done that, they would have won by 8.
Okay, so you can't kick a field goal there. Okay, that's why
No.
I messed up. That's why I was wondering. I was confused. I was like, why do you go for 2? They change college rules all the time. How long was that? I didn't even know you had
Just
to go
this
for 2.
season.
Okay, I knew you had. I knew eventually you had to go for 2. I didn't think it was the second overtime.
It used to be the third. Now it's the second.
That's what I thought.
And,
Okay,
and then starting in the third, it's just 2-point conversions. You line up at the 2 and you go for 2.
I knew
It's
there
just
was some
2-point
part of those
conversions.
2 conversions.
It's
Gotcha.
stupid. That's the stupidest thing ever. Like
That's
just
kind
line
of
up
stupid. I'd rather
2-point
just.
conversions. Like,
Yeah, that's stupid. Yeah. Anyway, I like seeing the 7 overtime games. I wish they'd just keep them.
I mean, I like the idea of just lining up at the 40-yard line and going for a Hail Mary instead of 2-point conversions. Let's just end the game with Hail Marys.
Yeah, but how long is that going to take? It might take a while. It'd be fun to watch.
It's more exciting to watch. Hell.
I think they should just play regular overtime until it's over. But anyway, Preston, talk a little bit about that game. Your defense wasn't too hot. Defenders wasn't too hot out there. Talk a little bit about the game.
I gave a lot of grief to the defenders when I was watching the game. A lot of them were true freshmen in that, especially the secondary and the safeties. There were some key injuries, and I'm not sure 100% on the names. I can't remember, but I know the one guy was Wiggins. It's just like the Kool-Aid guy from Alabama when they were watching the Texas game. I mean, if he wasn't getting burnt for 50-yard receptions, he was just grabbing on and just tackling the guys for pass interferences. It was just infuriating because the Clemson started out really good. They went up 14-0. Next thing you know, it was 14-7, and then 14-10, 17-14. It was just a crazy game the first half. Clemson went into halftime, and that had been where Clemson had made the best changes to their offense and defense, and they'd come out in the second half as a completely different team. Unfortunately, they came out a little sluggish, and Sam Hartman just was able to, do his patented
Come on, New Orleans. Go get him. Sorry.
He was just holding the ball when he snapped it, was waiting for a read option. And then as soon as he saw a receiver was open, he would pull it away. I mean, he would sit in the pocket a second and a half, 2 seconds after he snapped the ball.
That
and
was
just
crazy.
dart it. I mean, I was I'm surprised that the linebackers weren't trying to come down on him. But if they did, then he just pulled the ball out and throw it for 50 yards because he knew Wiggins was going to hold the crap out of the receiver.
The running back sitting in the backfield for 4 seconds with the ball.
And then when he pulled the ball out, the running back became the best blocker in the world. I mean, you couldn't get by the guy. I'm like, what the heck are we doing, guys? They're supposed to be the best defensive line in college football, and they couldn't put pressure on him. Now, a couple of times they were able to kind of get pressure. They were kind of able to break it down close to the end, and that's why it was very high scoring because Wake Forest's defense is terrible. Okay, and then unfortunately there was a lot of defensive injuries for Clemson, so they were playing a lot of redshirt freshmen, and that's what happened. And Sam Hartman, he's just a great quarterback. He really is. But I think one of the key plays in that game was early or late in the third quarter, early in the fourth. Clemson went for 2 to tie the game at 28 all. And that was huge because at that point, the game's tied. They were down by 8. They score a touchdown. They go for the 2. They get it. And then they were able to just go shot for shot. And they made a couple key defensive stops very into that game. They were able to stop a charging Wake Forest to send it for the Wake Forest to punt it to Clemson, and they just settled for overtime. And I'm just going to say it right here, right now. It's no longer too early to call it. DJ is finally the quarterback that he was supposed to be. He's not 100% there, but he's so much better than he was last year.
How bad your defense was, and then you want to say a quarterback.
I said the defense was bad. I mean, the dude threw for 5 touchdowns. I mean, how is that not good? No interceptions.
Did Anthony Richardson throw for how many touchdowns did Anthony Richardson get this week?
You are probably the most bipolar Clemson fan I ever heard.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Okay?
Hey,
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, DJ might be okay, but there's quarterbacks, they can come out and play good against a college team that don't have a good defense and don't have good defense players. I mean, it happens. They're college quarterback. They're going to have good games every now and then, but it don't mean they're good. I hate to tell you. We'll see when he plays a top team And
NC State.
He's got a good defense to play this week. Yeah, we'll see if he can prove it to us this week. Anybody, Josh, or Bryson, y'all want to talk about that game, Eddie?
Sam Hartman looked pretty good. I know he had like 6 touchdowns. We were at the Mexican restaurant watching that game. And like I said, like Press said at the beginning, I thought Clemson was going to run away with it, going up 14-0. I already had it in my mind that, I lost this pick, but, they battled back, couldn't get the dub, but it was a good game. Defense looked pretty bad. Corners looked pretty bad, but, good
All right,
game.
We'll go to y'all's game. Florida, Tennessee, Bryson. Florida, you had hope for a little while. They gave you hope sometimes.
Yeah.
They ended up losing by about 5 points towards the end. I know you said you thought they could win it. Talk a little bit about the Florida dropping the game to Tennessee.
Yeah, every 2 games I hate watching every year. That's Kentucky and Tennessee. They always give us a run for our money. Anthony Richardson had a great game. I just, he's so inconsistent. I wish he could play like that every single game. Congratulations, you finally threw a passing touchdown. I love that.
He's still completion wise. He's still not great as far as.
Didn't he pass for like 500 yards?
He passed for 453 yards. Yeah, but still, there's still that time. Come on, a lot of quarterbacks.
All right, so Tennessee's going to score with you, but if you stop them 3 times, you're going to win because they can't stop nothing.
Yeah,
their defense gets too tired.
I just want to see what Stetson Bennett's going to put up on Tennessee.
On Tennessee. Yeah. Well,
12 yards.
I'm interested in next weekend. I think Tennessee travels to Baton Rouge and plays LSU.
Yeah.
That'd be a good game.
Yeah, close game there. But is there anything, Preston, you want to say anything about the Tennessee game?
Tennessee looked really good. I was at work, so I wasn't able to 100% watch it. I kind of watched it on TV, like in passing. But Florida actually, I thought they performed a lot better than I thought they were going to into that game. And I don't really know if that was Tennessee playing down or Florida playing up. I think they're both very evenly matched teams. When you can't stop anybody like Clemson and Wake Forest, you're going to have a high-scoring game. But I honestly thought that's about where the game was going to go. But unfortunately, Tennessee allowed a late touchdown.
Gotcha. A couple more. We had Michigan barely pulling off against Maryland. We ain't got to say too much about that. Kansas State upsetting Oklahoma. Josh, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. Vegas-wise, it was an upset, but Kansas State has won like 3 of the last 4 against Oklahoma. Kansas State's always a thorn in their side. Really wasn't too surprised by it with Oklahoma having a new coach and everything. But, Oklahoma still can make some noise over there in the Big 12. They just ride the ship. So, I'm not giving up on Oklahoma just yet.
Gotcha. And then we also had Arkansas, Texas A&M. Texas A&M barely pulling it out. Does anybody want to say anything on that game as far as, that was a good game towards the end. I obviously, Josh mentioned something earlier. I know he wants to talk about
it. Well, there was one play in that game that changed the momentum of that whole game. Arkansas is about to go up 3 scores. They get up 14-0 real quick, and then it's like 14-3, I think, and then they're about to score, and there's a fumble. And dude picks it up and runs it. And then he's about to get tackled at like the 40. Texas A&M guy's about to get tackled. Well, one of his players just took the ball from him and took it and ran it all the way for a touchdown. So just that change of momentum of being in the red zone for Arkansas, about to go up 3 scores, to now only being ahead by 7 or 4 points or whatever it was. It was definitely devastating for Arkansas. I don't think they could overcome that. The momentum shifted. Texas A&M, it was back and forth. Texas A&M probably played the best game they've ever played, or they played this year against Arkansas. Alabama's got Arkansas this week, so I expect Arkansas to come out and give Alabama a game.
Gotcha. Preston, any thoughts on this game?
No, not really.
Not really, Bryson.
I'm with Preston.
I'll be honest, that's the first time I've ever heard Preston say that. Preston usually talks and talks and talks and talks. That's the first time I've ever heard him say that. I'm surprised. Bryson, any thoughts? I know we weren't fully watching this game, but
Yeah.
I don't think there's any other games we want. Is there any other games you guys want to talk about as far as this week? I mean, I know Josh said something about Auburn. We mentioned a little bit about that. Anything else?
Yeah, I mean,
App State lost, right?
Middle Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Yeah. App State really ticked me off. I mean, you're up 28. What was it? 28-3.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you lose 32-28. Like you just let's just not score anymore of the game.
I don't know what.
I mean, I really don't. I don't either. But Miami is not back. Texas is not back.
Well, quick question. Your lock of the week last week, because you know somebody that played on the team. How did that end up going?
That did not go well.
I love how you didn't know. Oh no,
I don't know.
They got absolutely blown out.
So yeah, they got beat. So the line was 31.5. They got beat 38-0. I was thinking they were going to get beat, 38,
like 28.
38-14 or something
Bryson's
like that.
pick wasn't not the lock of the week, but Bryson had me take USF or something, was it USF, the team that beat Florida or almost beat Florida a few weeks ago? Yeah, they got absolutely blown out by Louisville.
Yeah, by damn Louisville. Louisville whooped that ass one time.
So what was Michigan score? Did Michigan cover? No, they didn't.
No, they only won by
They only won by a touchdown.
10 or 11.
So the only person who got their lock of the week right was Chris because of a missed 2-point conversion.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I won, and that's all that matters. I didn't know they had to go for 2. I was kind of pissed. I asked Brian. Me and Bryson was playing the game. I was kind of. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, "Why are they going for 2?" Whatever.
What the hell are they doing?
Yeah. All right. Let's get in to the player of the week. Do you guys have a player of the week? I know I had one.
Yeah, I got one. I got 2 from the same game. But
go ahead.
All right. So this is going to go way off the radar. I'm getting out of the FBS. We're going to go to the FCS level. Ohio and Fordham. All right, so check this out. Fordham's quarterback, 27-35, 503 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Jesus Christ.
Ohio's quarterback, 41-50, 537 yards, 4 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown. He also had 45 rushing yards. Like, I couldn't believe that. When I seen those numbers, I was like, dude, what?
What are they playing, 7-on-7?
Who won this game? I mean, what was the final score? Who won?
Ohio won 59-52.
Damn.
Jesus.
But Western Kentucky
defense.
put up 70-something points on somebody.
Yeah. Didn't somebody beat somebody?
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
98-0 or 98-0?
Yeah, 98-0.
That was a FCS school too, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. That was ridiculous.
If you get 98 points scored on you and you don't score a single point, you just need to close up shop. We don't offer football anymore.
Gotcha. Well, I got my player of the week as well. I'm going one of the games that was an upset. Quarterback Adrian Martinez for Kansas State. He had rushing yards. He had 148 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns rushing yards for a quarterback. He was 21 for 34 and 234 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown. So 4 rushing. I mean, how many times you see a quarterback run for 4 rushing touchdowns? I mean,
well, the change of scenery's worked out well for him because he was at Nebraska, I swear, for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I thought that name was familiar. I was like, why does that name sound so familiar?
He took advantage of the COVID. He took advantage of the COVID year and he transferred it. But this has got to be his last year of eligibility. Got to be.
Yeah. Preston, you got a player of the week. We know where you're going. I mean,
I do have a player of the week. Thank you for asking, Mr. Christopher. My quarterback of the Clemson Tigers went 26 of 41 for 371 yards and 5 touchdowns, no interceptions. He now has 16 completions, over 20-plus yards. He leads FBS. This is the quarterback that was supposed to be here 2 years ago to take over for Trevor, and thankfully is here leading this offense.
Come back next week when he throws 4 interceptions against NC
Don't you
State.
put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
I hope NC State beats.
Hey, one of us needs to get a little ukulele. And then whenever he starts talking about him, we can get it out and play it.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, dude. I mean, he's probably got him in Heisman contention now. knowing him.
No, not yet.
Anyway,
When he wins
Not
this
yet.
Saturday.
yeah, Bryson, you got a player of the week.
Yes, sir, I do. I go on SEC South Carolina. Marshawn Lloyd, 15 carries, 169 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, running back. They face Charlotte. And even though they face nobody, that still put up some numbers right there for a running back.
Charlotte. Anyway, Jesus Christ, that was loud.
Yeah.
Oh, is it really? I'm sorry.
Is the damn hurricane here already?
yeah.
Sorry.
I just looked outside. I was like, damn, it's already coming. I mean, that was loudish. Ooh.
Yeah. There's
And they
Ian.
changed, Josh,
sorry,
did
I'm
they change
sorry.
your? Did they move y'all's games any for high school? Sorry to go off track. Did they?
My high school's off this week. They got beat
Oh,
last
okay.
week for homecoming.
Yeah, they moved ours. I'm going to.
That's
one of the
rough.
I covered different games, but we're
But
going on.
they
Our games
hosted
got
an
moved to
undefeated
Thursday.
team. They hosted an undefeated team, but the
Why
undefeated
would you do that?
well, the
Why?
undefeated team wasn't supposed to be undefeated when they scheduled them, and they had beat a bunch of nobodies, and I don't think East Coweta took them serious, and yeah, they got beat. So, but that's not a region game, so but still don't want to lose homecoming.
No.
Gotcha. Well, let's get into the upcoming games. Then we're going to do our top 25. So we got to go ahead and do these upcoming games real quick. Or did anybody have a rant before we? Everybody's got a rant, correct? Or anybody want to rant about anything? No. Bryson's still over there playing with his toe. That's one thing I want to rant about.
So just real quick, one real quick rant is can the NFL please put on a better Sunday night game, dude? I don't want to see the Broncos on Sunday night. I mean, I really don't.
I did when the season started, but not now. I don't. I really
Dude,
don't. I mean,
they got
thought it was
they
gonna be-
got to do better, dude. And then Monday night's game was just it put me to sleep. I fell asleep, and it's like I just want to watch football.
honestly though, before the season, if you saw, I know they picked some of the games later in the season, but before the season, if you saw Broncos Niners Sunday night football, I mean, you'd think that's going to be a good game, you know?
Yeah,
So,
and really the Dallas game, if Dak hadn't broke his hand or his ankle or something like that, that game would have been better. But I think they probably would have blown out the Giants. But those games are hard to watch.
Don't be hating on the boy Cooper Rush.
Hey, Daniel Jones can run, can't he, boy? That dude's pretty quick.
Just can't throw consistently.
As long as he can stay on his feet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go ahead and get into the games. We got the upcoming games here.
Broncos Nation.
Bryson looks super comfortable over there. All right, some of the games I might miss here. There was a lot. Josh's camera just went off. Some of the games I might have not put on here. So I'm sorry if I didn't. There was a lot of good games this week, a lot of close lines. First game I probably shouldn't have, but it's a Friday night game. One of the teams is ranked, so we're going to Friday night. We're going Washington at UCLA. Washington favored by 3.5. We'll start out with Preston if he has a pick here. Washington at UCLA. Friday night, Washington favored by 3.5. Who you got?
I'm going to take Washington minus 3.5. Friday night, hopefully home team. It's an unconventional night. Maybe for the Pac-12, that's kind of early. So I'm going to take Washington minus 3.5 here.
Gotcha. Bryson, what you going?
Yeah, I'm Robert Pretz with this one. I'm going to take Washington 3.5.
Washington minus 3.5. Everybody going with Washington minus 3.5. UCLA played some tight game. They haven't really played nobody the way it's looked. Colorado, I don't think Colorado's good no more.
No.
I didn't pick yet, but I'm going to go. I'll go ahead and start out. I'm going to go Washington minus 3.5 as well. UCLA hasn't really played nobody besides Colorado. And I don't know. I don't know much about UCLA. I know they got Chip Kelly, believe, still. And Washington looks, Washington's a ranked team pretty good. So, yeah. Josh, who you going with here?
Yeah, give me Washington minus 3.5. I don't trust UCLA.
I mean, this could be a trap game, too. I remember last time we picked these ranked teams over these unranked teams and tight lines, and somehow the unranked teams pulled it off. But, yeah. Anyway, let's get into the next game. We got Texas Tech at Kansas State. Kansas State minus 8.5. This is a Saturday game at noon. Bryson, we'll go to you first. Who you got, Texas Tech or Kansas State? Kansas State.
Yeah, this is what I circled. That was kind of hard to choose. I don't know if I'm going to go, Texas Tech off that victory against Texas. I don't know. It's just because they were at home, Oh, God. Give me Kansas State.
Gotcha. Let's not chew the ice very loudly, please, and thank you.
Hey, is this game at Kansas State?
Yes. From what I know, it's at Kansas State, and Kansas State's favored by 8.5. Josh, coming to you next. Who you going with?
Yeah, man. Kansas State usually drops a game they ain't supposed to. Is this that game?
Let's go Braves. Let's go.
It's hard to say. Let's go with shoot, man. Let's go with the Red Raiders of Texas Tech plus 8.5.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of those games I wasn't sure about either. 8.5, Kansas State. I mean, coming off a big win against Oklahoma. Both teams coming off a big win. Maybe some letdown spots for both teams here, but 8.5, I think that's too much. I'm going to take Texas Tech as well.
My bad. I'm sorry. I was an accident. I'm sorry.
Preston, who you going with?
I agree with you. The whole state of Kansas as a whole has stepped up their football program. Kansas is on the outside of the top 25, knocking their way up. Hopefully they're undefeated right now. There's a chance they could get ranked if they get another win this week. Texas Tech kind of, screwed my prediction last week because I thought they were going to get beat by more than that. They hung in pretty good a couple weeks ago versus North Carolina State. For those reasons, like Josh said, I do think Kansas is going to have a little bit of Kansas State's going to have a little bit of a letdown. Give me Texas Tech plus 8.5.
All right, so 3-on-1 here. Bryson, you took Kansas State, correct?
Yes, sir.
No, either Bryson's going to get a bigger lead or we're going to catch up. We're all going to catch up here. We'll see. All right, next game. Let's go. Oklahoma at TCU. Oklahoma favored by 6.5. Oklahoma coming off a loss. TCU, I believe is TCU still undefeated? If I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong. Josh,
I think so.
Who are you going with here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Sooners to bounce back. I think their defense steps up, holds TCU. Think they win.
TCU is 3-0. By the way, TCU is 3-0. From what I'm looking at, TCU is 3-0. I thought so. They played their best game was SMU. They played SMU and barely won in the shootout. I know SMU's been putting up a lot of points, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going with the Sooners minus 6.5.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Oklahoma coming off a big loss against. They have to step up here. They have to win games. I don't expect them to lose this. Only a touchdown. I'm taking Oklahoma minus 6.5. Preston, who are you going with?
I'm going to roll with you guys. I think Oklahoma minus 6.5 after coming off of a loss. I think that's the way to go. Brent Venables is probably going to have them a little more tightly and in shape for this game. So I'm going to roll with the Sooners minus 6.5 here.
Gotcha. Bryson, who you going with?
Boomer Sooner, baby. Give me Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Was that a sweep, or you said you took?
It's a sweep.
That was a sweep. Sweep. I'm worried. That's a sweep. Both a sweep here. All right. Next game, we're going to Michigan at Iowa. Michigan favored by 11.5 against Iowa's defense. Michigan not too hot. I know their offense is pretty good. I don't know what to do here. I know I'm going to pick first since I haven't picked first yet. Michigan favored by 11.5. I didn't pick this game yet. Iowa's at home. Only thing I like about Iowa is their defense, really. I don't know. I'm gonna take the Hawkeyes at home. Give me the Hawkeyes plus 11.5. Maybe Michigan wins by 3 or so. We'll go to Bryson. Who you going with?
Man, another game that's going to be hard. Like you just said, it's at Iowa. Iowa's got good defense. Michigan didn't look too hot last week. I'm wrong with you. I'm going Iowa.
Josh, what you got?
I'm going with Michigan.
Going Michigan minus 11.5. I think Preston, what his reaction was, are you taking Michigan as well?
I'm taking Michigan. I don't know if you saw this stat or not, but Iowa's got one of the best defenses so far statistically this short season, but they have one of the worst offenses. They didn't score a touchdown in week 1 and they scored 7 points. That's how impossible is that to do? I don't think they're going to be able to score it all. Now, I think it's going to be a low scoring game. Take the under if it was like 42.5, but they're not going to score. They probably will be. They're not going to score any points. And Michigan's got a pretty decent defense as well. So, I mean, completely honest, they might keep Iowa under 9 points.
They played at home, though. They played at home. You never know.
I did want to know, what time is this game? If it's a night game, that makes it a little bit more interesting. Noon?
Is a noon game. Noon.
Give me Michigan minus 11.5.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, tough game. I just like Iowa at home. Maybe they'll come up and play this game. And I mean, I don't know. Let's go to the next game. Another noon game here. We got Kentucky at Ole Miss. Ole Miss favored by 6.5. Kentucky, one of the top 10 teams right now. I think Ole Miss is getting up there as well. Is Ole Miss ranked in the top 10 yet or no?
I think they're 8. No.
Are they up
I thought they were 8.
I think they're 16.
Yeah, I thought they were in the top 15. I don't know. I could be wrong. Someone can look. Preston, who are you going with in this game?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of Kentucky. I'm sorry. I was thinking of Kentucky.
Yeah, I was wondering. Yeah, Ole Miss favored by 6.5. It's Kentucky at Ole Miss in this game.
Kentucky at Ole Miss. Kentucky is up.
Noon kickoff, I believe.
I'm gonna go with the Lane train here. I think Lane Kiffin's gonna have something figured. I don't know. This was a really tough one for me to pick, but I like Lane Kiffin at this noon kickoff. So I'm gonna go with Ole Miss minus 6.5. They got an offense. Now Kentucky is a very good team. Very good team. So I would not be surprised if I get this wrong at all, but I'm going to go Ole Miss minus 6.5.
Bryson, what you got?
Yeah, Ole Miss is one of those teams that, can pull an upset out their ass, Even though Ole Miss got their punter from a frat party, that's still impressive to me. So I'm going with Kentucky.
I'm sorry. Josh, who you going with?
Yeah, man, I think if this game maybe was a little bit later in the day, I don't know, has Kentucky got their running back yet? I know when he's suspended for some games for a DUI.
I don't know. Question. I heard he was out one time, but I'm not sure if he's
I'm gonna go with Ole Miss, man. I think Lane's got that offense going. I like Zach. I like their running game. They got two of the top 2 rushers in the nation.
I mean, what's the best team they played though? That's the only thing I'm worried about. I mean, they barely beat Tulsa. I'm going off eye test. I haven't watched much Ole Miss this season.
Yeah, but who's Kentucky played?
I mean, Florida's not that bad. Florida's not that bad. Kentucky hadn't played nobody. Kentucky's handled their opponent, so I mean, pretty well. Besides, close at the beginning. I don't know. I mean, this could be. I think this is going to be a really good game.
It's definitely going. I'm gonna have my eyes glued to the TV on Saturday at 12 if I still have power. I mean, I'm nervous about my power going out. In fact, I've told my dad to bring the generator.
Yeah, hopefully we don't lose power. I didn't even think about that.
Should I get a generator from where I live? I have one.
Anyway, but
yeah,
I'm
going Ole Miss.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kentucky. I mean, plus or minus 6.5, correct? Or is it minus?
Kentucky no, it's
plus. Plus 6.5. Oh yeah, give me Kentucky. Hell yeah. Definitely give me Kentucky plus 6.5. I think this is going to be a close game. I think this is going to be the game that one of the teams is they got to put up or shut up here.
Bryce is going to.
Ole Miss is undefeated. Yeah, there's we got a Bryson toe spotting every week. God, put that thing away. Put that cast back on.
I'm just relaxing, dog. I'm just relaxing.
That thing's black, man. I'm gonna get demonetized or whatever for this. Anyway,
Kitty.
Kentucky. I think like I said, one of these games, one of these teams is going to show who's the real deal or not this week. Let's go to the next game. Let's go to Alabama at Arkansas. This is not the big game of the week because we have another game. I did not put this one as the big game of the week. Bama favored by 17.5. That's a lot of points. Could be wrong. I'm taking Arkansas. I'll lead us off. I'm taking Arkansas. That's just too many points. Alabama, prove it to me here. Prove it to me one time. Give me Arkansas. It's too much. And Arkansas is at home. Preston, who you going with?
Excuse me. You got me the worst time. I had to burp. Yeah, Arkansas is a really good team. They played very well versus Texas A&M. Couple bad calls, maybe on the offense. They weren't able to score enough points. They lose to Texas A&M. That being said, I think Alabama's a better team. They are home, right?
Yeah, it's in
Alabama.
Arkansas.
No, it's in Arkansas.
It's in Arkansas. They have doing a red out, something similar to Georgia's blackout. They're doing a
And what
red out.
time is this game?
This game's
Sorry.
at 3:30.
8:30.
I don't think I want to play Alabama at 3:30 though, to be honest.
God, last week I talked myself out of taking the Texas Tech and Texas game because of stupid reasons. I'm not going to do it this week. I'm going to roll with a good team. I'm going to roll with Alabama minus 17.5. This one might come and get me, just like I said about the Ole Miss game. But I've picked against Alabama too many times, and it's bit me in the butt too many times. So I'm going to go with them, even though that's a lot of points versus a good team on the road.
Bryson, who you got?
17, that's a lot of points. But I think if Arkansas would have won last week, that might have maybe pick them this week. But I can't pick against.
Oh, it's
Salem
even
this
better
week.
they lost. What? You kidding me?
So-
I'd rather them
so-
coming off a loss. Give it to me.
So
They coming for
I'm
that.
giving,
They coming for that tight ass. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Go ahead.
Give me Bama.
Go ahead, Bryce.
Give me Bama.
Hell yeah! I'm glad y'all taking Bama. Go ahead, Josh. Josh is going to surprise. He's probably going to take Arkansas. Josh, who you taking?
Yeah. I am going to say that Alabama wins this game
By 10.
by 14. So I'm going to take Arkansas.
I agree.
Or
I think
Kansas.
It's going to be something like that. Only thing Bama's got to. They might want to put on some damage here, but I don't know. And
Josh,
plus,
I don't know if you noticed this or not, but through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, through 5 picks, we have the exact same thing, and then you just changed it to go to Arkansas, and I've got Alabama. I was kind of hoping we were the same because I was like, you've done pretty good. So I'm like,
yeah, but you've done pretty bad, so it kind of.
You know what? I didn't want to hear that crap. I don't want to hear that crap. Okay, I did really good 2 weeks ago.
Hey, no, I can see if Alabama gets on them early, I can see it make it ugly.
and what worries me is Alabama had a tight. I mean, Arkansas had kind of a tight game with South Carolina. South Carolina ain't that good, so
Yeah, I mean, Alabama has like top 5 rush defense. They still haven't given up a passing touchdown.
Yeah.
So
Are you trying to make me feel better about my pick or worse? Like I don't get it.
I want to pick against Alabama, but they got to show me first.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to pick Alabama. They just got to show me, and I mean, I could see it being 21, 24 points. I mean, it could be, but I mean, I know Arkansas is going to be up for this game, and
they got to be up for it. And you said that. What'd you say they had the red out or whatever?
The red out, and I mean, I don't know
come on,
about
man.
these.
Oh,
I don't
come
know about all this gimmick stuff that they're doing. I mean, if it was at night, and the red out would mean a little something more, man. But come on, man, Alabama's colors are red too, almost the same color red as Arkansas. I mean, come on, what are you talking about?
I think either Arkansas is either going to get absolutely shit on in this game, or Arkansas might come out and find a way to win. I think it's going to be one or the other.
I mean, I hate it that Arkansas lost, dude. I wanted this to be a top 10 matchup so bad.
All right, let's go to the next game. Let's go 3:30, Oklahoma State at Baylor. What a game this was last year, I believe, right before the playoff or in the playoff. Baylor favored by 2.5. Josh, we'll come back to you here. Who are you going with?
Give me OK State plus
Oklahoma
2.5.
State plus 2.5. Bryson, who you going with?
Yeah, them Baylor Bears ain't looking too hot this season. I thought they'd be maybe a contender this year, but give me Oklahoma State.
Gotcha. Preston, what you got here?
Yeah, I'm going to keep it rolling. I like Oklahoma State plus 2.5 here. They're undefeated. It was a team that I left off on my top 25.
On accident. Fixed it.
Yeah, by accident. I think they're good. I do think they're good. I don't think they're as good enough to compete nationally for a national championship, but definitely I think they can win the Big 12. Big 12. So give me Oklahoma State plus 2.5.
What was so funny? Are you okay?
Yes.
Anyway, no, I was really tipping on this game. I know Sanders has looked better this year. Not throwing as many turnovers, but I don't know. Baylor, Oklahoma hadn't played nobody. Oklahoma State hadn't played nobody. I believe Baylor's had some tough games, and so I think I'm going to take the team. I'm taking Baylor.
Some shady business going on around me.
To win this game. Shady business.
Yeah, some shady business going on in this Walmart parking lot.
Oh, you're in Walmart today.
Yes,
he's in Walmart today.
Better lighting.
Let's go to the next.
You should get out with your phone, like in your damn headpiece or whatever, and say this is with How to Catch a Predator.
Hey, by the way, Chris, who did you pick?
I took Baylor.
Baylor Bears. Baylor Bears.
I think Baylor wins that game. I feel pretty well, even though Sanders has been better this year. I don't know. Who won when it was a close game last year? Who ended up winning?
Baylor.
Baylor ended up winning that close game.
Yeah.
Who did they play in the Big 12 championship? Was it Oklahoma? No, was it? It wasn't. I don't think it was.
I can't remember off the top of my head. All right, next game. Let's go Texas A&M at Mississippi State. I'm not sure what time this game is. I think it's 3:30 as well.
I think it's a 3:30 game.
Mississippi State favored by 3.5. Bryson, who you got?
Giving them Bulldogs down in Mississippi.
He's taking Mississippi State Bulldogs at home. Preston, who you going with?
Yeah, I mean, maybe last week I might have taken Mississippi State here. I don't know. I think Jimbo's going to have – I've been saying this for a couple weeks now, or I've been thinking this for a couple weeks now. Texas A&M is not the team we all thought they were, I think, going into this season. But I think they're good enough on the road to win this game by, well, or at least not to lose it by 4. So give me Texas A&M plus 3.5.
Josh, what we got?
Yeah, well, if Texas A&M was playing anybody other than Alabama next weekend, I would pick Texas A&M. But Texas A&M's putting that game plan in for Alabama. Mississippi State's going to beat them. Going to rise up. Will Rogers is going to have a day. I mean, it's been proven that that Jimbo Fisher will drop a couple of games as long as he prepares for Alabama. So I don't think he's going to last too much longer over there in College Station, and this is going to make his seat get a little warmer here. So yeah, I'm going Mississippi State Bulldogs.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. What I was doing right when you were talking, I was looking to see when Alabama. I forgot. I was trying to remember when Alabama and Texas A&M played because that's exactly what was going to have me leaning toward Mississippi State, and that's why I'm picking them as well.
Well, if Jimbo gets fired, say they go 9-3, 8-4, 10-2, whatever, and say he gets fired in the season, where would he go? Somebody's going to take him. I feel like
I don't think. I'll tell you right now, he's not going to come to Alabama for Saban's school of wayward coaches. Maybe he goes to Auburn.
I still don't understand how they're going to fire him. He's making so much money.
Yeah, they got the money. They want championships, dude. I think his job's safe this year. I mean, unless he loses real bad, like if he goes 7-6, something like that.
What if they lose by 40 to Alabama next week? Does that not get you see hot?
That's a possibility.
They could lose by 100. It doesn't matter. His
so?
Job will be safe. But I mean, he goes 8-4 this year. If he goes 8-4 next year, he's out.
If they lose by 100, he might resign.
They might fire him in the end zone like they did Herm Edwards.
He might step down. This might be the. They should do what was WWE where they did the you must retire the retirement match. Jimbo versus Saban.
Yeah. No, if he goes 8-4 next year, he's out of there.
I might have to make that. I might have to make that into a thing I can post like a meme or whatever. Make that the retirement match.
So the best meme of the weekend was the Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Whoever loses has to call their family.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you what the best meme was the Tennessee game when the cameraman cut to one person in the crowd, and that was hilarious.
I don't know what's talking about there.
You have to share it to us.
Yeah, you have to show me.
So is that
quick question. I'm sorry. Quick before we get going. Josh said something about Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. I thought Tom Brady had a good relationship with his parents.
No, his wife
His wife,
Yeah.
because he left. He left. He
Yeah.
came back. That's what he
Yeah.
was saying.
Yeah, him
He
and his wife
retired
are
and came
on
back.
Yeah,
His wife didn't like that.
No, yeah, he's having some marital issues right now. So
Nothing a ring can't hang for.
that meme was funny. Is that whoever loses has to call their family?
I understood.
That's
Anyway,
hilarious.
let's go to the next game. Big game of the week. We got Saturday, 7:30. I'm glad this is a night game. NC State at Clemson. Clemson favored by 6.5. I have not liked much of what I saw from NC State, especially early in the year with a close game to East Carolina. But like I said, East Carolina has been, East Carolina hasn't been the worst team in the world. NC State's supposed to have a good defense. I don't trust Clemson. I'm sticking rolling. I'm continuing to rolling with the underdog against Clemson. I'm taking, and this could bite me here. I'm taking NC State plus 6.5. Maybe Clemson wins by 3, but maybe Clemson doesn't win. So yeah.
Why do you say stuff like that? Why do you say stuff like that?
Josh, who you going with? I mean, they haven't proved to me. I want to see. I want to see what ukulele does.
Yeah,
here.
I think NC State does the same thing, kind of exposes the secondary of Clemson. I think they look at the film at what Wake Forest did. I think they can mimic that offensive line protection. I'm going to go with NC State plus 6.5.
Josh, Bryson, who you going with?
Let's keep that train rolling, baby. I'm doing NC State.
Preston's. I think he might be feeling. I don't know if he's feeling good about this or he's feeling bad because I know he's not taking NC State. So Preston, what's your thoughts so far? Who you taking?
Well, Josh said maybe they take a book out or take a page out of Wake Forest's protection plan. They can take a look all they want because this is the Textile Bowl. Okay, this is the Textile Bowl. It means so much to the division. Okay, this game could determine who represents this division in the ACC championship game. It really does. This comes down to it because it's this game and then the Louisville game, I believe. I don't know. I can't remember which one it is.
If you can't beat Louisville, you ain't beat nobody.
Well, no, it's not. It's not about that. It's just you got to win this game. We're going to get Xavier Thomas back. We're going to get a couple other key defensive players back. This game is going to be played in a monsoon. It is going to be raining. The Tigers have, since I think in the last 10 years, I think I saw this thing today, they played 30 times in front of the big lights, the big game of the week. The Tigers, they're built for these kinds of games. They have better talent than NC State. This is at home in the rain. DJ is going to put this team on his back offensively. The defense is going to step up.
In the rain, he's going to put it on in the rain.
Yes.
So before you make your pick real quick, I just want you to know that it's going to be raining. So when Dabo Swinney comes down that hill, leads his team down the hill, I imagine 7 or 8 players are going to end up being questionable to even start the game because they're going to tumble down the goddamn hill. It's going to be a damn mud bath over there.
Yeah, the ukulele strings are going down break.
The rock's going to fall down the hill and roll down the hill. Howard's Rock, ain't that what it's called? It's going to roll down the hill and hit somebody in the head. And it's going to be
You should be able to bet that. You should be able to bet will Dabo Swinney fall before the pregame run.
I can almost guarantee you he is going to have that team gingerly come down that hill. Okay. Have them gingerly coming down the hill. The last time they played this was the BYOG game versus Notre Dame. And what did Clemson do? They came out. They announced their presence. Deshaun Watson had a game of his life. Well, no, he didn't. I think he had 3 interceptions, I think, that game. But
don't compare DJ Ukulele.
They should throw a big orange tarp on that hill and throw some damn soap on it and let them slide down the hill. Yeah. Come down the hill on top.
They at the end of the games, they put cardboard slides and they just slide. The kids just slide down it.
All right, let's get in.
But hey, I didn't make my pick. Christopher. I'm gonna roll with NC. No, I'm just kidding. Give me the Tigers plus 6.5 or minus 6.5. They're gonna win big this week. This game means so much to the division, to the Tigers. Give it to me, baby. 6.5.
God, they gonna give it to you, all right.
Dude, I'm gonna go get a little rock outside, and we're gonna name it Howie. Howie's rock, and we're gonna gotta get it to Preston so he can rub it before every game.
All right, let's go. We're going to do our top 25 here. Instead of doing the top 4 every 4 weeks, we're going to do our top 25. I'm going to announce them here. Before, do we have a lock of the week before we do the top 25?
Yeah, we should all do our locks of the week.
Lock of the week. I did not pick one. Did you
I'll
guys?
start.
Go ahead.
Let me go with Oklahoma.
He's going Oklahoma -6.5. Preston, did you have a lock of the week?
I sure did, Christopher. I'm sorry, Chris. I know you don't like to be called Christopher. I think this is going to be kind of tough because I think this game is going to be more lopsided than people think. But give me Clemson -6.5, baby. They're going to beat the hell out of NC State. Let's go.
Where you at, Bryce?
Go ahead, Bryce.
Kentucky
+6.5. I'm going to go with I don't even like any of these games, to be honest with you. But I am going to go with Mississippi State -3.5. Josh talked me into it. I'm going Mississippi State -3.5 against Texas.
I really thought you were going to go NC State just in spite of me. I really did.
I thought about it, but I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm not as confident as I was last week. I'm gonna be honest.
All right, so you are going to send me a picture of this top 25 after the show.
Yes. I will send you a picture of this top 25. All right, let's get into it. We're going to start from number 1. We're going to go to 25. We'll go through it quickly, and then we'll get your thoughts overall. Okay. You guys can say who you had where. Georgia, number 1. Everybody had Georgia at number 1. Am I correct there?
Yes.
Everybody had Georgia number 1.
Yep.
All right, so we got Georgia number 1. Alabama number 2. We got Alabama ranking out at number 2. One thing that we didn't have, Josh did not have Alabama at number 2. I don't believe.
Nope.
Which I believe that's a load of crap. To be honest with you, I'm gonna be honest with you.
If they cover the spread Saturday, I'll put them up at number 2. But what Ohio State did to Wisconsin? What Ohio
People
State?
could argue they could be number 1 now though, because Georgia lost. Georgia almost lost to Kansas State.
No.
So,
they did not almost lose.
It was a close game for a while.
It's just like Nick Saban a couple years ago. They ran through our ass like shit to a tin horn. I mean, like they played good. They put up some points, but that's not. They put some points up, but that game was never in question.
Yeah. All right. Number 3, we got Ohio State, who Josh had at number 2, but everybody else had him at number 3, I believe. Ohio State. Number 4, we got Michigan. I had Michigan at number 4. Where did you guys have Michigan at?
I had them at 4.
You had them. I thought you had Clemson at 4. I'm not mistaken.
I might have had. I did have Clemson at 4.
You had Clemson.
Reason I had because that Wake Forest game's got to hold some weight.
Gotcha. Bryson, who'd you have at number 4? Where'd you have Michigan?
I had Michigan at 5.
Yeah, Michigan at 5. Okay. Number 5 team, we got Clemson. Clemson ranked out as number 5. Where'd you guys have Clemson at? Preston, where'd you have Clemson?
I had him at 5.
I believe I had him at 5 as well. Josh, where'd you have Clemson?
4.
Yeah, I had him at 5 as well. Bryson, you had him at like number 8, I believe, correct?
8.
Gotcha. And then we go number 6. We got USC. Josh, do you know where you had USC at?
Yeah, I had USC at number 8, man. They almost lost to Oregon State. I don't know what Oregon State's got, but they usually don't got nothing.
Oregon State has been okay this year, but they haven't been too bad. Preston, where'd you have USC?
I have him at 8 also.
Bryson?
I had him at 4.
You had him at 4. And I had him at number 6, so it ranked out for me. Number 7, we got the Kentucky Wildcats coming in at number 7. This was a tie between Tennessee, but I believe they ended up ranking out Kentucky. Kentucky ranked a little bit higher than Tennessee. Josh, where'd you have Kentucky? Excuse me.
I had Kentucky at 7.
I had Kentucky at 7 as well. Preston, where'd you have Kentucky?
I had him at 7.
Bryson.
I had him at 6.
Bryson had him at 6. Bryson's got him a little bit higher than everybody else. Number 8, we had Tennessee, like I said. Josh, where'd you have Tennessee at? I had Tennessee at number 8, I believe. Yes, I had him at number 8.
I had him at 6.
Preston?
I had him at 6.
I had him at 7.
Bryson. Bryson had him at 7 as well. All right. Yep. NC State. We'll go through a few here. NC State. We had number 9. I believe everybody had NC State in their top 10, if I'm not mistaken. Anybody have NC State not in their top 10?
I had him at 11.
Bryson had him at 11. Okay. Well, I know most of them had them in their top 10. Number 10, we all had Oklahoma State at number 10. So this averages out. It averages out to be number 10. Number 11, we had Penn State. Penn State is our 11th team. Anybody have any differences there? I know there was.
I had him at 9.
I had him at 12.
12. We have number 13. I believe we all had
12.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Number 12, we have Ole Miss. Ole Miss is coming in at number 12. Number 13, we have Utah. Number 14, we have Washington. Washington coming in at number 14. I know they're ranked a little bit. I want to say they're ranked a little bit higher in the AP poll, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody knows. Number 15, we had Oregon.
Washington's 15 in the AP poll.
Okay. Number 15 on here, we have Oregon.
What a bounce back after week 1. What a bounce back.
Number 16, we have Texas A&M coming in at number 16. I know there were some differences there, I believe. I believe some people had Texas A&M a little bit live.
What a fall since week 1.
I had him at 18.
Gotcha. Number 17, we have BYU after losing, or I think they lost. Yeah, they lost against Oregon.
They lost to Oregon and they won by like a walk-off or something like that, I think, 2 couple times this past week.
Number 18, we have Baylor.
Baylor
just losing to BYU in overtime. Number 19, here's where it comes, who I had at number 12. Minnesota, undefeated Minnesota's got a good quarterback, good running back. Josh, where'd you have Minnesota at?
16.
Preston, where'd you have Minnesota?
Where do I have them at? Oh, I had them at 20, I think.
20. I want to say Bryson, I know Minnesota's not a top team. I want to say Bryson maybe forgot about him a little bit. Bryson.
Yeah, they're not on my list.
Not on your list. I had him. I mean, Minnesota. I mean, I don't like a lot of these top 10 teams, and I almost put them inside the top 10. I mean, Minnesota's pretty good, man. I mean, maybe not in the top 10, but there's not a lot of good teams, to be honest.
I mean
row the boat.
The Golden Gophers are, I mean, anytime you get 4 games into the season and you're in the top in categories that
they might have the top. They might have one of the best running backs in football too. A good quarterback. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's not when you have Kentucky and Tennessee at number 7 and 8. I mean you can put anybody in the top 10. Anyway, number 20, we got Arkansas. Number 21, coming off a loss, we got Oklahoma. Number 22, Kansas State. Number 23, I don't think Josh had this team on his list, Wake Forest. After losing to Clemson, Wake Forest is our number 23 team. Number 24, still undefeated, Florida State. I think we all had Florida State somewhere. And number 25, who is also still undefeated, Kansas. And then the honorable mentions, 26, Wake Forest. 26, Pitt. I think a couple of y'all had Pitt. Pitt did not make my list, so I don't think they made Bryson's.
Nope.
27, the only team Bryson had on here that was different than ours, the last honorable mention was North Carolina. So, yeah, any thoughts on the list? No thoughts. So that is our collectively, our top 25. We're going to do this, like I said, we did it week 4. We're going to do it next time, week 8. That is our top 25. I might put it down here at the bottom. We'll see. I meant to do that before we started, but yeah. I think it's not a bad list. I mean, it's a little bit different than the AP poll. So, yeah, we'll try to do that again in week 8. And maybe there'll be some new teams moving forward. Any thoughts before we leave, before we head out?
Nope.
All right. Well, yep. We'll be back for week number 6. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you like.
One thing. Let's look at Georgia's next 3 opponents. Missouri.
I mean, who's Alabama played? Alabama almost the only good opponent
Hey, this ain't about Alabama. This is about
You want to
next
talk?
three.
You want to talk
Georgia,
smack?
Auburn, and Vandy. Georgia, Auburn, and Vandy. That's
Okay,
Georgia.
Alabama just played Vanderbilt. Just because Alabama's actually facing some real teams now that they might lose to,
Yeah, I mean they might
get
lose, but I'm just saying let's look at the number one team. Let's look at their next three opponents. Let's see if that comes back to bite them whenever they go on the road to play Kentucky.
Okay, well, let's look at week 1 and what they did to where we got them at. Oregon, who's the number 15 team. What did they do to them? I plead my case. Anyway, I appreciate everybody watching. Make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube, follow Apple Podcasts, download Spotify, whatever. Yeah, peace.